Before we start today off, guys, I want to name where this one came from. One of my guys dropped a question in the garage and it absolutely stopped the room. How do you handle a kid who's in full-blown denial? Thing is, when we're faced with a situation like this, we tend to fall back to our default programming. What was taught to us? We've all been on the receiving end of, because I said so, or I'll give you a reason to cry. You shouldn't feel that way. A lot of us were taught how to use denial very effectively. Truth most of us miss is, we've all been that kid. And for some of us, we still are. This episode isn't about parenting. It's about the armor we wear when the truth feels like a threat, and what it takes to finally face ourselves again.
Welcome to the Mechanic's Garage. Let's get to work.
Alright guys, let's hop right on into it. I am Chris the Mechanic Miller with Mechanic's Garage, and this is the episode on Shop Talk for Denial. Now, denial isn't always defiance. Sometimes it's grief. Sometimes it's guilt. Sometimes it's shame so heavy, the only way to breathe is to pretend it's not real. If you ever looked at someone in the eyes and knew that they were lying, not to deceive you, but because they were terrified of what admitting it might unlock, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We like to think people avoid the truth because they don't care. No, the deepest denial usually comes from the people who care too much. They're just protecting themselves the only way they know how. They try to hide it, bury it deep down, pretend that it's not there. Until one day, they look in the mirror and don't even recognize themselves. Let's go a little bit deeper here. Because denial doesn't operate alone. It rides alongside your trauma response. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fight and denial is external blame. You shift the focus off you by turning up the volume. Well, I didn't do anything wrong. You're the one making a big deal out of this. You're not lying. You're straight up defending, because admitting it feels like weakness, and your wiring says never show anybody your weakness. When you throw flight into the mix, you get distraction. Here's the just stay busy version of denial. It's not that serious. Let's not talk about that right now. I'm too tired. You dodge the truth, not because you don't know it, but because you're afraid stillness will make it too loud to ignore. What happens if we freeze? That's when it becomes disassociation. This is the shutdown, the silence, the dead stare. I don't know. Whatever. You're not pretending. You're numb. You disconnect because connection would demand a truth you can't hold yet. When we get to fawning, that's self-erasure. This one looks like kindness, but it's really a slow fade. It's okay, I probably overreacted. Or it wasn't that bad. I don't want to cause any drama. You deny your pain so you can stay accepted. You trade your truth for someone else's comfort. Each one of these isn't about being dishonest. It's about staying safe. And if you've been stuck in any of those fight, flight, freeze, fawn systems, don't ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Ask, what am I afraid this truth will cost me? Here's what I mean by that. A kid doesn't deny stealing because they don't know it's wrong. They deny it because they think admitting it makes them bad. An addict doesn't deny their usage because they think they're fooling anyone. They deny it because they think it proves they're broken, unlovable, beyond saving. That's the lie beneath the lie. Denial isn't a refusal of facts. It's a refusal to feel the weight of what those facts might say about us. And until someone feels safe enough to hold that weight, we keep running. It can get frustrating though. You can't force someone to face what they're not ready for. A lot of times it seems so obvious to us we can't understand how someone else can't see it. You can't help someone if they are not willing to help themselves. But you can be the one who holds the light steady for them when they're ready to come out. You can be present and ready. Sometimes presence sounds like, you don't have to explain it right now, but I'm here when you're ready. Sometimes it's, I don't need you to be perfect, I just need you to be real. Sometimes it's just silence. Not punishing, not pressing, just staying in the room where they thought you would leave. That kind of presence doesn't fix people. It grounds them. It says, even if you crumble, I won't. And that's what rebuilds trust. That's what makes you feel safe. Let's flip this around a little though. What if you're the one in denial right now? What if you're listening to this and there's something in your life that you've been dancing around? Maybe the whole fight, flight, freeze, fawn thing hit a little bit too real for you in one area. What's that one thing you won't name because if you do, it might unravel everything? For some of us, it might be a drink that's become a dependency. Could be a relationship you know is draining your soul. For a lot of us, it's probably the mask that we wear. You know, the one that keeps everyone thinking that we're okay. Here's what I'll tell you though. You don't have to confess it to the world, but you do have to stop hiding it from yourself. Because every day you pretend it's not there, you build a version of yourself that's a little more fake. And eventually you forget what real even felt like. You don't need to fix it all at one time. This doesn't have to be something that takes place overnight. But we do have to start somewhere. And we start by naming it. We start with the awareness aspect. Even if it's just whispering it, even if it's just writing it down in your journal, start somewhere. The opposite of denial isn't confession, it's compassion. Stop denying when you believe the truth won't destroy you. So if you're holding something back, if something in your life is hiding behind silence, sarcasm, or shutdown, don't rush in with advice. Don't press them for proof. Just be steady. Be safe. Be someone they don't have to perform for. And do the same thing for yourself too. Because one day, when the weight gets too heavy, they're going to look for one place that won't collapse when they tell the truth. Be that place. That's all I got for you guys today. Stay grounded, stay steady, and I'll catch you next time.